Sometimes, the truth doesn't come out through evidence. It slips through words. If you suspect she's hiding something, these 7 calm but powerful phrases can make her confess to cheating without even realizing she's doing it. Before we dive into these 7 phrases that should set off every alarm bell in your head, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what city you're watching from. 1. What would you do if I cheated on you? The projection play. This question, which sounds innocent, is a powerful psychological tool. It works by making her imagine her own actions and feelings in a made-up situation involving you. If she is being unfaithful, she has probably already thought about what would happen and the emotional pain infidelity causes. She is secretly living with this reality. When you ask this question, you are essentially asking her to describe her feelings about the very situation she has created. If she is innocent, her answer will likely be genuine, perhaps showing hurt, anger, or sadness at the idea of your betrayal. She might clearly state her boundaries or express deep disappointment. However, if she is keeping a secret, her reaction can be a clear sign. Watch for avoiding the question, where instead of answering, she might change the subject, saying things like, "Why would you even ask that?" Or, "Are you thinking about cheating?" This is an attempt to move attention away from her own discomfort. You might also notice nervous laughter or dismissing your concern, where a nervous laugh or quickly changing the topic can show a desire to avoid the uncomfortable comparison. It's a nervous reaction to seeing herself in the situation you're describing. Another common response is turning the question back on you, a common way to avoid admitting something. "Are you cheating on me?" Or, "You seem like you're feeling guilty about something." This is a defense mechanism, an attempt to make you doubt yourself and distract from her own actions. She is imagining the situation because she is already in it. The sheer discomfort of the question can be enough to make her guard drop slightly, revealing an emotional clue. The discomfort comes from your made-up scenario, suddenly matching her current reality. It forces her to face the emotional side of infidelity, not as a distant idea, but as something closely connected to what she is doing. 2. You seem distant lately. Anything you want to tell me? The gentle guilt trip. Guilt is a tricky emotion that often creates an invisible barrier between people. When someone is hiding a big secret, especially one that affects a close relationship, emotional distance often develops. This phrase is purposely not confrontational and is spoken gently, which ironically makes it more effective for someone hiding the truth. You are not accusing her of anything specific. You are just noticing a change in her behavior and kindly inviting her to share. This gentle approach catches her off guard. If she is innocent, she might honestly explain stress, worries, or simply admit to feeling a bit off. She might even be relieved that you noticed and cared enough to ask. However, if she is carrying the burden of infidelity, this open-ended question can feel like a direct hit. Look for sudden defensiveness, a quick, sharp, or irritated response like, "No, I'm fine." "Why do you always think something's wrong?" This can show that she feels attacked. Her defensiveness isn't just a reaction to your observation, it's a shield protecting the truth. Another sign is over-explaining. Innocent explanations are usually simple. A too detailed, rambling, or complicated story about why she's been distant, for example, a sudden complex work problem or a new family issue you hadn't heard about, can be a sign of panic. She's trying to quickly invent a believable story to cover the real reason for her emotional withdrawal. You might also notice sudden strong emotions. She might suddenly become tearful, angry, or unusually upset. This emotional overload can be a symptom of the huge pressure of keeping her secret, and your gentle question has broken through her calm exterior. The non-confrontational nature of this phrase works by avoiding the usual argument. She isn't ready for a fight, so when the question touches her hidden guilt, her unplanned reaction can be very revealing. She isn't just reacting, She is panicking because your gentle observation has brought her secret to the surface of her mind. 3. I had a dream you were with someone else. Planting a seed in her mind. This is a smart tactic that avoids directly accusing while still introducing the idea of infidelity. By saying it was a dream, you immediately lower her guard. A dream isn't real. It's something from the subconscious. This makes it hard for her to argue against it directly, but it can still trigger a powerful inner response if the dream matches her real situation. You're not saying, "Are you cheating?" You're saying, "My mind is telling me something troubling." This plants a seed of doubt and worry that can start to grow if she is indeed hiding something. The idea is that her own guilt will make the dream feel like a harsh, uncomfortable reality in her mind. Watch for clear discomfort, which might appear as fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, suddenly looking pale, or a change in how she sits or stands, for example, leaning back slightly. Her body language is reacting to the stress of the dream being too close to the truth. You might also notice a sudden change in her energy. She might become unusually quiet, or, on the other hand, talk too much in an effort to fill the silence. An innocent person might simply say, "Oh, what a strange dream," or ask for more details. A guilty person, however, might react with an abrupt change in their usual behavior or an intense, uncomfortable silence as they process the meaning. The effectiveness of this phrase lies in its ability to bypass her conscious defenses. She can't dismiss an accusation because there isn't one. You're simply sharing a personal, seemingly random thought. Yet, the parallel between your dream and her hidden actions can create immense inner pressure, making her feel as though her secret is being psychically revealed. This emotional connection can lead to her giving herself away through subtle, unintended signs. 4. You're free to leave me anytime. I just want the truth. Releasing control. This statement is deeply unsettling for someone who is used to keeping a secret and possibly manipulating the situation to their benefit. It works by taking control away from her and offering an unexpected way out. You are not begging, pleading, or accusing. Instead, you are presenting a situation where her honesty, no matter how painful the truth might be, is more important than keeping her in the relationship. This approach is disarming because it changes the power dynamic. An innocent partner might be confused or saddened by such a statement, perhaps asking why you would suggest such a thing. They might even reassure you of their commitment. However, for someone who is being unfaithful, this phrase can feel like an unexpected gift and a terrifying ultimatum at the same time. The idea is that when the perceived negative results of confessing, like being trapped or facing an angry confrontation, are replaced by an offer of freedom, the truth might come out more easily. Watch for a sudden change in her mood, perhaps from being guarded to a brief moment of relief, followed by a rethinking of the situation. She might hesitate, trying to figure out if you're truly offering an unconditional release or if it's a trick. A genuine desire for freedom might encourage a confession, as being honest now seems like the easiest way out of the deception. On the other hand, if she values keeping the relationship at all costs, even while cheating, she might quickly deny everything and reaffirm her commitment, now understanding that her continued deception could lead to losing you completely. This statement can indeed bring the truth faster than confrontation, because it removes the usual defensive reactions and invites a different kind of honesty. 5. If I asked your best friend about us, what would she say? Pressuring the inner circle. It's often said that every cheater has someone they confide in. Most of the time, it's her best friend or a very close acquaintance who knows her secret. This phrase doesn't directly accuse her. Instead, it cleverly puts pressure on the entire circle of lies. You are not accusing her of cheating. You are suggesting that someone else might know. This creates a powerful wave of worry. If she is innocent, her response would likely be a confident statement that her best friend would speak positively about your relationship, or she might even offer for you to ask her friend. She might express confusion as to why you would even consider such a thing. However, if her best friend is aware of her infidelity, this question can cause significant inner distress. Watch for a mix of emotions on her face, a quick flash of fear, followed by anger or indignation, then perhaps a forced calm. She might become defensive on behalf of her friend, or try to suggest her friend wouldn't know anything important. She might try to guess what you could possibly know, or try to downplay the closeness of her friendship. The thought of her best friend being questioned and potentially revealing the truth, either on purpose or by accident, can be an overwhelming source of anxiety. It puts pressure on the shared secret, threatening to expose it from an outside source. Her reaction, especially her facial expressions and immediate body language, will tell you everything you need to know about whether her best friend is unknowingly helping with her deception. 6. Is there anything you're not telling me? The direct, calm inquiry. This question is surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful. It is direct, straightforward, and calm, but its strength lies in its broadness and the hint that you might already suspect something. You are not limiting the focus to infidelity, leaving it open for any number of secrets. This forces her to consider all her hidden truths, with the most significant one naturally coming to the forefront of her mind. If she is innocent, her answer will likely be a simple no, perhaps followed by a curious "why do you ask?" or a genuine question about your worries. However, if there's even a hint of dishonesty within her, watch for specific clues. The most common sign is hesitation. This might be a slight pause before answering, a noticeable deep breath, or a brief shift in her gaze as she quickly thinks about any hidden information. You might also notice a change in her voice, perhaps a slight tremble, a forced cheerfulness, or an unusually flat tone. Her eyes might look away, or she might suddenly focus intensely on something else in the room, avoiding direct eye contact. These are all subtle signs that she's struggling with a decision, to lie, to confess, or to avoid the question. The very simplicity of the question means there's little room for complicated excuses or detailed defenses. It's a direct challenge to her honesty, and her immediate, unplanned reaction can be very revealing about whether there is indeed something important she's keeping hidden. 7. I already know, I just want to hear it from you. The ultimate confrontation. This phrase is often considered the most deadly in this collection of psychological tactics. It works on the idea of preemptive surrender. You are stating that you know something, not asking for information. This makes her believe the truth is already out, and her only remaining control is how she tells the story. The immense pressure of believing her secret is exposed can break down even the strongest defenses. An innocent person would react with confusion, even anger. Know what? What are you talking about? They would demand, truly puzzled and perhaps offended by the idea of hidden knowledge. Their reaction would be genuine bewilderment. However, if she is being unfaithful, this statement is designed to cause immediate panic. Watch for her to freeze. Her body might become stiff, her eyes wide, as her mind races to process the supposed revelation. Her first instinct might be to ask, "What do you mean?" Not because she's truly confused, but to gain time, to understand what you know, and to plan how to manage the situation. She is frantically trying to figure out how much you know and the best way to control the damage. This phase often leads to a desperate attempt to confess just enough to handle the situation, hoping to lessen the impact or control the details of the exposure. Many will confess just to control the story, preferring to deliver the painful truth on their own terms rather than have it revealed entirely by you. This statement takes away her power and forces her to face the reality that her deception has been discovered, making confession seem like the only possible path forward.